Hello everybody, this is me Paul. Welcome back to my studio, Warsaw, Poland, to my humble YouTube channel. Guys, we're starting different today. We're downstairs in the studio lounge, not in the studio itself, because we're gonna have another honest talk today. And probably that's gonna be controversial. That's gonna make you mad somehow, but I really need you to hear me out today. We're gonna talk about so-called creative block. Because you, my viewer, you might started watching this vid because you do feel that you've got this so-called creative block. What if I told you that this creative block doesn't even exist, and the fact that you can't write your music is all about something else than this so-called creative block? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk about today. And I'm kind of afraid what you're gonna say and how much you're gonna hate me. But let's go. As always, if you think this channel is a cool place, if you like my studio, my videos, please consider subscribing somewhere here down in the corner, getting notified, liking this vid, and commenting on it down below, because I need to know what you think about what I think in this video. That's gonna be a huge discussion, probably. And also, there's a new thing on the channel. If you want to support me, what I do, you can still buy me a coffee down below as well. Thanks. Yeah, so you just came to my channel. You might be my subscriber, you might be a newcomer. You just came here to learn more about this creative block, how to handle this. And I'm seriously gonna state this. There's nothing like creative block. There are some issues that are gonna stop you writing your music, but this is not this magic, legendary, whatsoever creative block. Yes, you might find it sometimes difficult to come up with new ideas. You might find it difficult to continue to develop the ideas you already have in your music, but please stop calling it a creative block. I somehow diagnosed throughout my own way with music 6 different issues that are gonna stop me creating at the very beginning or at some point that I reach. Because this is what this creative block is. You can't start, or at some point you can't continue your music. And we're gonna dive into this. So I'm gonna try to diagnose for you 6 different issues that are thrown into one bag called, wrongly, a creative block. Let's go. And probably you're seriously gonna hate me for the first one, but I have to start with it, because you know, that was the thing that released my own, let's say, creative block, my own blockade. It was the largest one, and I got rid of it someday. Sometimes the fact you can't start a track or you can't continue with your track is simply that, I'm sorry to say this, you lack musical skills. Yes, my friend, creative block is simply your ignorance, your lack of musical knowledge and musical skills that you have to overcome. So the first thing, not to any creative block appear in your life, is to simply invest heavily in music theory. And I would first learn harmony if I was to choose something really that's gonna develop you. It developed me a lot. I started learning harmony. I learned about scales, different chords inside the scales, different chord types, expanding, alternating chords, making progressions, making chord modulations, making voicings, and more. And it all really changed everything. I cannot think about any creative block right now because I have skills at my hand. I'm not the best piano player, but the fact that I do play piano changes a lot. And also I just know chords. So no matter if I have a good day or if I have a bad day, whether I'm driving with ideas or my head feels empty, it doesn't really matter because music as a structure is always there. Music is a form of math. Many people gonna tell you this and they all gonna be right. This is just very specific type of mathematics in music to be applied, and it simply exists. And you just know how to use it and how to start writing your music, even if it feels empty inside somehow and you feel uninspired. Music as a logic, music as an architecture, it's always there and it can always be used in many beautiful ways. That's it. So learn music theory. I recently discovered Music Matter courses. I'm not sponsored by them by any means. I also did some good mixing and mastering courses online. I'm gonna make maybe a separate video about courses that I can recommend, not my own courses. And also I started talking to ChatGPT recently, so I got into some more advanced harmonic structures that I want to apply to use in my music, and that all feels great, my friends. Let's move on. Number 2 comes along somehow with number 1, but we enter some kind of field of psychology, let's say. I'm not a psychologist, I remember, and I'm not gonna even try to tell you how to live or create on this very deep psychological level, because I'm not really competent in this. But I want to share some human-to-human experience with you. It all is much about your self-confidence and self-criticism when you're writing music, especially when you feel somehow or you know that you lack skills that we talked about a while ago. And the best way to overcome this is to start learning really new things like music theory, because even if you don't have the skills that you need at the moment, you have this confidence, you have this perspective of gaining these skills for the future. So somehow don't be afraid to fail. If you don't know how to continue with your chord progression, if you want to make, for example, your chord progression or your melody simply better sounding, more interesting, and you can't, and you don't know how to do it, don't blame yourself. Don't resign. Don't quit. Go to point number 1, and instead of writing a track, try to read something about melody writing or chord progressions or scales or whatever it feels that is needed right now. Make a step back and never give up. And don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, try to diagnose it skill-wise, as I said. And also, what I think very important is some kind of consistency. No matter what, finish your projects. If they are good, if they are bad, if you're happy or not happy with them, learn to finish your tracks. But we're going to talk about it more in point number 3. Yes. Consistency, my friends. You're not going to be a successful musician, a successful artist without some kind of consistency, meaning that you create all the time. I mean, not 24/7, but really regularly, possibly every day you find some time to learn theory, play your instrument, experiment with new synth sounds or whatever sounds you're into, with mixing and mastering your music better each day. But having a week of break, 2 weeks of break, a month of break is not consistency, and it's not going to bring you closer to what you want to achieve. Because I think that the essence of music is that you can imagine it somehow as mathematics, but On the other hand, music is a very lively, very internal process for a human being. And it's always there. It's like a river with its flow. And you just step into this river and remain in this river. You go with the flow. Even if it's 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, but be in the process. I'm serious about it. It changes a lot. Worst moments of my creation that I can remember, just putting aside my lack of skills a couple of years ago, were the moments I had to, for some reason, make like 2 weeks of break from any music making. And it was always terrible. And the longer the break was, the more difficult it felt to get back to something, which was also very much about my self-confidence and self-criticism that somehow stopped me from sitting down and writing some stuff. Yeah, so consistency, music as a process that surrounds you, as a river with its flow that you step into and you remain there, my friend. This one might be kind of a practical one. Time and focus. Very plain, straightforward issue. Sometimes you sit down to write your music, but your wife wants something, your kids want something, or your husband wants something, your friends want something, your job sometimes wants something, you want something that is not the music you're sitting at right now, and it all is going to distract you. And it's really good, I do believe it's good, to find the time during the day, even if it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, that you just spend with your music. There's only music and you. Some people do it very early in the morning before any real life starts. I tend to choose night over early morning, so I do music late at night when it's the same. All life stopped. There's gonna be nobody to interfere with my process that I'm doing. I have to pay my price for it. Sometimes I get not enough sleep. Sometimes I sleep too long in the morning, but I found my way. This is my time with music. There's gonna be nobody and nothing there, and I'm fully focused. I'm not gonna write and read any emails. I'm not gonna check on social media all the time. And I'm not gonna take care of my family whatsoever. There's gonna be just me and my music. And multitasking, being distracted all the time, might feel like kind of blockade, but it's not a blockade. It's just lack of focus you have to handle. Number 5 probably would be the longest topic, the most extensive, the most important even topic on this list. Because I think this is the second most important next to simply lack of skills among home recordists, home musicians. Stress and life issues, my friends. Yes, sometimes you can't write music, you can't focus on your music. You lack self-confidence and you're too critical, for example, because there's a lot of different and difficult stuff happening in your life that you have to handle. Because music not only is a form of math, not only it's a stream, it's a river that you step into, it's also deeply connected somehow with your emotional life. Yes, it is, because this is music, come on. And even though there is math, there is all the logic and all the musical structure always at hand, sometimes it's not even easy to make an interesting chord progression because you can't think about it, because you're just thinking about this quarrel you had with your parents, or about this stressful situation at school with your kid that you had, and that's gonna simply cover your eyes. and cover your soul, which is understood, of course. But also, I do believe that your contact with music is a great meter of the quality of your life. I experienced this in my own life. When I really take care of myself, if I take care of solving all the issues in my life the way that I should solve them, I find writing new music easy because I know I got my life, my problems, my stress levels under my control. Doesn't mean that I don't have stressful situations and I don't face issues. We all face them, but I have them under my control. I control them. They don't control me. And when this happens, I can always simply sit down and write music. With issues unsolved, with issues put aside, with issues ongoing, no, that's not going to happen simply. And writing music, as well as some other stuff, is simply going to be very, very hard, if not possible. So simply take care of yourself, take care of your life, communicate all your needs, solve problems, solve conflicts, so that you have emotional control over your life. That's gonna unblock the world of music for you in many cases. And the last thing I want to tell you today, which I also find vital, is that don't force yourself to work all the time, on the other hand. You have to make breaks when making music. I know how hard it is sometimes. I tend myself to spend 8, 10, 12 hours in a row making just music. But listen, you have to live. Music feeds itself. It grows on your life experience, on the people you meet, on emotions you feel during the day. This is great fuel for creativity. I also do a lot of sports recently, so I always take care. For last months, I really take care of staying fit. I run, I do the gym. I'm gonna do biking again very soon. Spring is coming. Also, I meet my friends. I talk to people. I'm going to spend a lot of time with my new girlfriend. Her name is Margot. Hey, Margot, are you seeing this? And whatever it is, guys, time spent outside studio is seriously very important. So if you feel tired, please stop. Don't force yourself too hard. Don't push yourself. Simply leave the studio for 15 minutes or for a day and get back to something the very next day. Start fresh. Being tired, being overwhelmed is an enemy of every creative process. Guys, these are my 6 points I wanted to present to you. I think these are the issues that are behind this weird construct called sometimes creative block. And I seriously don't believe in anything called creative block. I believe in lack of skills. I believe in lack of self-confidence. I believe in stress and not handling your life issues properly. I believe being not well balanced and too tired to continue. And I do believe I tackle 3 of 6 points that I presented you, which are points 3, 4, and 5, I think. Wait. Because actually I made a short list here. So yes, 3, 4, and 5. Consistency is an issue for me because I wish I sit down to my own music every day. I don't do it every day, and it's somehow connected with point number 2, which is self-confidence and self-criticism, just a bit. But simply, I'm a very busy man as well, and I don't always handle my calendar each day the perfect way. I lose minutes during the day. on things that are not needed, frankly. So I lack consistency sometimes. I also think that time and focus are my issues because I run the studio. I have a team of people and a bunch of clients to take care of. I don't have my separate office. I don't have any production manager hired in the studio. I handle all the clients, all the also accounting myself in the studio. So it affects my time availability and my focus. And I should also work on that. And also stress and life issues is not the thing for me. I think I handle these very well. Do I make breaks? No, I don't force myself. Stress and life issues are fine. I mean, I'm right now I'm in a very specific financial situation. I'm running out of money. I do have money not paid by the clients, which are very late for a couple of projects. And this does stress me out. It's not easy. I think I didn't deserve it after almost 20 years of work and running this studio. But it happens in all this creative showbiz. Yeah, so I have to handle it. But still, 3 and 4, I think the things I have to take care of most. How about you? What are you struggling with most? What are your creative blocks that fit into this list? Or maybe there's something else that I missed. And does this video have this power to help you actually in anything and overcoming your music difficulties? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you very, very soon. Bye.